Tonight on Hotty Toddy News, the demand for counseling and mental health services is growing in the community. Vaccinations in Mississippi on the rise, while COVID-19 cases are on the decline. And Ole Miss to build a statue of Coolidge Ball. More coming up. Stay tuned.
From the School of Journalism and New Media on the campus of the University of Mississippi, this is Hotty Toddy News.
Good evening and thank you for tuning in to Hotty Toddy News. I'm Madeline Nolan. One thing to keep in mind as many people in Oxford get busier while coping with the pandemic is not just your physical health, but mental health as well. Rebecca Donaldson has more on this and how counseling providers are scrambling to meet the demand for their services.
According to the Mental Health America Association, last year, 8 out of 10 people showed symptoms for depression and anxiety as a result of isolation and loneliness. Oxford Wellness owner Lindsay Bequee says that counselors all over town are seeing a lot more patients due to the pandemic.
What the stats show as far as mental health being the next pandemic is 110% true. We are definitely seeing a high demand.
The Ole Miss Counseling Center is also seeing more students booking appointments. They say they're hiring more counselors to meet the demand, but for now, students are struggling to get an appointment. Student Catherine McCulloch says she's been seeing this with scheduling appointments herself. Even with the option of virtual sessions, it's less frequent, but she's still glad she can use the services.
It's really difficult to get an appointment. I think there's some understaffing over there, and so it's just harder for them to work in students. I think they've also had a big influx of students with the pandemic.
For more information or to book an appointment through the Ole Miss Counseling Center, visit counseling.olemiss.edu. It's simple and stress-free. You can even do it on your phone. Rebecca Donaldson, Hotty Toddy News.
Lindsay Bequee says it's important to remember therapy is not one size fits all and that it's okay to meet with as many as you need until you find the right one. New developments from the Walmart bomb scare on Sunday. 26-year-old Jordan Montre Williams was formally charged with false reporting of a bomb, explosive, or weapon of mass destruction. The Lafayette County Justice Court has issued Williams a $50,000 bond. This is coming after police were called around 4 p.m. on Sunday to report that Williams was allegedly telling customers he planted a bomb inside the store. After evacuating the building, officers deemed the store safe. And staying on the subject of Walmart, state leaders announced Tuesday that around 30 Walmart pharmacies across Mississippi will start giving out COVID-19 vaccinations late next week. Tate Reeves says about 10% of these vaccinations will come through the federal retail pharmacy program, which is aimed at fighting racial disparity among the vaccinations in Mississippi. The Oxford Police Department has created a station for those without internet access to schedule COVID-19 vaccine appointments. McKinley Rutledge has more on the station setup.
Vaccinations in Mississippi are well on its way, and many have already scheduled their appointments online. However, 34% of people in Mississippi do not have access to internet. As a result, Oxford Police Department set up a computer for people to sign up. OPD officer Breck Jones says the computer is available to anybody who needs it.
To give everybody a fair chance to be able to come up here and get the vaccine.
The computer is available at all hours of the day. Jones says this location was picked based on the safety of the community.
The department wanted to give a safe location that's open 24 hours, well lit, security cameras, and where people would feel safe to come and be able to sign up for the vaccine.
Jones says this computer option has been successful for people, and people have made use of the option when appointments are available.
With more money being granted to Mississippi in regard to the COVID-19 vaccination, Oxford Police Department will continue to provide to those who don't have easy access to this process. This is McKinley Rutledge reporting for Hotty Toddy News.
And remember, if eligible to receive the vaccine, you can sign up at the University of Mississippi's scheduling website at covidvaccine.umc.edu. And as vaccines around Mississippi become available, the state has also reported a decline of COVID cases since January 13th. Yesterday, the MSDH reported that the 7-day average new cases was at 1,235 for the state. Stay safe and don't forget to socially distance yourself. Life since the beginning of the pandemic has impacted many churchgoers. Churches have been pushed to become more creative in engaging their members and providing their services. Caroline Chrysler took a look into how churches in Oxford have managed to keep up with these COVID guidelines.
Sundays in Oxford are looking different since the beginning of COVID-19. Many people are choosing to attend their services from the comfort of their own homes. With platforms such as Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Zoom, it's all becoming possible with upgrades and hard work made by church staff.
Many churches like James Grubbs have found one streaming platform that works well for their congregation and stuck with it.
For streaming wise, our resident expert was a YouTube fan. And so we have pretty much used that platform exclusively. The church has its own YouTube page.
Many other churches like Mary Payne Dillard's found Facebook Lives to be the most efficient way for their congregation.
At the beginning of this process, we were only on our local television station, so we knew that we needed to reach our entire congregation, and the best way to do that was through Facebook. So we've been doing Facebook Lives. We also upload our services to YouTube.
Going virtual means many physical elements of church have changed, communion being the biggest.
They've been out there for a while, but these cute little cups that have both the juice or the wine and the...
His staff's newfound discovery means that his church can have the first communion in nearly a year. He's excited to return to some source of normalcy. Though this journey's been filled with obstacles and hurdles, both say they've seen a creative side to their staff and have things put in place that they will continue to do moving forward. Caroline Chrysler, Hotty Toddy News.
Thanks, Caroline. It's good to see that people and churches in the area are adapting so well to these changes. And more on COVID-19 changes. The Oxford Board of Aldermen met yesterday and decided to make no changes to COVID-19 business restrictions. That means local stores have to continue getting creative in order to generate business. Megan Harkins has the story.
Almost 1 year into the pandemic, Squarebooks is still trying to adapt. Based on city restrictions, the store can only accommodate 8 customers at a time. This may have contributed to a 30% decline in last year's sales. And manager Lynn Roberts says they had to make changes in order to survive.
Really sort of adapted to make sort of a hybrid system.
This means they've added curbside pickup, expanded online options, and created virtual programming. Squarebooks manager Lynn Roberts says it is essential for business to integrate with the times, but the online orders require more manpower for less profit.
To be honest, when orders are placed, it's a lot more work.
These extra hours might be required as marketing professional Brad Conaway says the online trend is here to stay.
That do figure out how to market on social media and how to really talk to an audience and how to find their audience digitally, those are the ones that are going to survive.
The City of Oxford established curbside parking spots to encourage the support of small businesses. However, that has not kept businesses from financially suffering. This is Megan Harkins.
Thanks, Megan. And if you like your local shops here in Oxford, check out their new online options the next time you shop. Now, moving it over to the hardwood for your daily dose of Rebel sports. Coach Davis's squad showed up in a big way last night with a monster win over the Tennessee Volunteers, 52-50. The Vols were a top 10 team heading into the game, but the Rebel defense was a key to victory just like it has been all year long. Ole Miss held Tennessee to the 35% from the floor and dominated the glass, out-rebounding the Vols 37-30. Devontae Shuler led Ole Miss with 15 points, but the game highlight was a monster dunk by Luis Rodriguez right in the face of a Tennessee defender. Coach Davis's squad will try to carry that momentum into their next matchup against Auburn on Saturday. And Oxford legend Angelo Mistletoe, who is known for his famous cafe on College Hill Road, died on Sunday morning. He was 85. Mistletoe's restaurant opened in the early 1960s and it instantly became a hit in Oxford. He owned and operated the restaurant alongside his wife, Jo Dale, who were both known for their friendly service and excellent hamburger steaks until they closed shop in 1988.
You know, Oxford's a great town. It's all about people and community, and he was just a real pillar of the community and, you know, known for his food, but known for his good spirit and, you know, generosity and just one of the things that makes Oxford special.
Joey Mistletoe's Angelo's son said he touched so many lives. The family invited friends of Angelo to join them for a virtual service this Friday via Waller Funeral Home's Facebook page. The live stream will begin at 11 a.m. Ole Miss will erect a statue of Coolidge Ball, the university's first black student athlete. The life-size statue will be placed at the North Plaza of the Pavilion. Lily Garner has more on the statue.
On Monday, it was announced the first black student athlete at Ole Miss, Coolidge Ball, is to be monumented by a life-size statue with bronze likeness. 50 years ago, a young Coolidge Ball broke down walls of racial injustice at the University of Mississippi, trailblazing the way for many future black athletes to come. Artist of the statue, Dr. Kim Sessoms, says he is excited to be a part of the project and to help tell Coolidge's story.
It needs to communicate his intensity, the way he drove the baseline, because we did a thing where he's driving the baseline, looking towards the goal, the ball's out away from the body. And so I have to be able to capture all those things in a piece of clay on some aluminum wire that started out as nothing. And that's the really exciting, challenging part of this thing.
Where I'm standing, in between the pavilion and Von Hemingway Stadium, is where the statue is planned to be erected to tell Coolidge Ball's story and his legacy at Ole Miss for years to come. Deputy Athletic Director Lynette Johnson hopes the location allows many to view and learn from the statue.
On game day, whether it be basketball or football, a lot of people move through that space. I think that his statue and his story is going to inherently affect somebody, white or black, male or female, in a space that they may want to change.
The statue is set to be erected on May 15th, 2021 in a private ceremony due to COVID restrictions. Lily Garner, Hotty Toddy News.
To learn more about Coolidge Ball, visit OleMissSports.com. Ole Miss will be hosting events throughout February to kick off Black History Month. Eddie Glaude Jr. is lined up as Speaker of the University this year. Glaude is a scholar of African American Studies, and on February 9th, Glaude will be presenting the keynote address. Other events include film viewings, presentations, workshops, and more. For more information on this and the upcoming events this month, visit inclusion.olemiss.edu. And to end on a high note, the National Center for Natural Products Research at Ole Miss are looking for healthy volunteers aged 21 to 55 to participate in a CBD cannabis extract study. If interested in volunteering for this study, contact Carrie Harrison at 662-915-2103 or at KAHRRI6@olemiss.edu. And that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Hotty Toddy News. I'm Madeline Nolan. Thank you and have a wonderful week.